All right, this is recording 8/28. The name of this specific podcast episode is Listen Next 8/28. It's a part of my podcast titled Speaking to the CIA. You can find me at speakingtothecia.com or ChristinaStacia918.com. You can also find me on YouTube under Christina Station 918. You can find me on Twitter on Christina MS. My Twitter ID is Christina MS 918. Also, you can find me on Spotify, Scorpio71. You can find me on Podbean. Just look up Speaking to the CIA podcast. Okay, so I've got quite a bit of podcasts to make for this week, and I've got to get myself caught up because I do this to myself all of the time, and it gets exhausting, but I have to keep making reports against Jean Jernigan Roberts because she and her Manson Nicole are stalking me and my family. Number one, they will not leave me and my family alone, and that includes my children, that includes their friends and their families, that includes my ex-husbands and their families, that includes my mom's side of the family, that includes my dad's side of the family, that includes Sergio's side of the family, that includes Beth's side of the family, that includes Kathy's side of the family, and that includes, I know I'm missing someone, that includes Jeff's side of the family, my stepdad Jeff. Okay, so, you guys know who my family is. So you know all my family names. So she is literally stalking all of us and pretending to be this, and also pretending to be me and pretending to be my family and friends, and also my friends, all of my friends, all of my life. And this, I would say, I know for a fact, my children, I'm not married anymore. She keeps claiming I'm married to somebody. I'm divorced. I've been divorced since 2016. So anyway, this would probably include my ex-husbands, their friends also. I don't know all their friends, but they know their own lives, obviously. But anyway, so okay. So let me continue here. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is I want to revisit. I got off topic. Oh my gosh. There's always so much to say. And she blanks my short-term memory. She literally can zap my short-term memory to where my brain goes completely blank. You see right now she's trying very hard to control my speech. So anyway, I've got several podcasts I need to make, which are all important, very crucially important, because they prove that Jean Roberts is the leader of Charles Manson. They prove that Jean Roberts is the leader. I don't know how you want to put it. I was told she is the true actual leader of the Ku Klux Klan. Then somebody said she's towards the top of the Ku Klux Klan. She's Ku Klux Klan. I personally, myself, decoded it. She joined the Ku Klux Klan in the late 60s. She planned to join the military. She planned to commit stolen valor when she joined the military. Everything she did regarding the military was fraudulent. I decoded it. I've spent 10 years of my life, past 10 years of my life decoding. It proves that she is not only guilty for stalking us, controlling our lives, running rackets around me, but that she is a terrorist and she has committed massive, massive crimes. So, and like I told you before, all crimes connect to each other. So it's important to go over everything I know that I figure out from the past, because you never know what links or connects to what that is unknown of the past also. Also, what might be happening present day, what she might have up her sleeve present day, because she still is committing terrorism. I catch her every week. I'm being interrupted by people noticing that she's going to clip and stitch. People have my podcast. They're well aware of how Jean controls my speech because she wants to go clip and stitch and go lie to people. I catch her every week committing crime. I decode the crimes. I make a podcast. I turn her in. Also, what terrorism there might be in the future. Everything is something that helps the Central Intelligence Agency, along with all world leaders, do everything possible to be aware of where, who is in Charles Manson and saving lives, which is very, very, very upsetting. But you guys know, if she's not arrested and she's just allowed to do what she wants, what happens? Families are ripped apart. She gets away with killing massive amounts of people, and she gets rewarded for it. While everybody sits back and witnesses her doing this. It is not right. And my boys and I definitely need to be we definitely need to be in a witness protection program. It's my decode. I turned Jean in. I'm doing this because I care about my family. I care about the United States. I care about the world. I can't tolerate Jean getting away with this. You have two choices. Do something or do nothing. If you do nothing, what happens? The problem compounds. If you do something, then the problem, if it can't be stopped because she's got threats out, is hampered. Lives are saved. Even though still she takes lives. She needs to be arrested. So I want to start off with, I want to go back to grade school, when I was in grade school at East Globe. Okay. So let me just do a recap real quick. Okay. So when I was in grade school, this is not what I'm referring to, and I still have this because it's on my phone, and I've probably got a lot of it decoded on paper too, but it's this part of this, I think I decoded this all on my phone. So anyway, and some of this is on Pinterest. You may have seen it. But anyway, sorry, my speech, she's like stuttering or messing with my speech while I'm trying to talk. Okay, so anyway, when I lived in Globe, when I was in grade school, when I was little, it was time to learn fractions. Okay, so we learned how to do fractions with egg cartons. So you're going to see all my ciphers, see all my podcasts, see everything all on Everything Egg. So immediately you know Everything Egg. Okay. So anyway, we learned how to do fractions. And what they did, I'm sorry, I was trying to control my speech again. I'm sitting here trying to remember what my teacher's name was. It was I think it was Mrs. Johnson. I think Mrs. Johnson was my teacher. Anyway, so what we did is we all had to bring in egg cartons to school, and then we spent like the day like cutting them into all different into ones and twos and threes and sixes, like cutting them into different groups and painting them. It was like a real big deal. And then our teacher showed us how to do fractions using all the parts of these eggs, the egg cartons, okay? And I learned how to do fractions quick. I thought it was the most fun I ever had in my life. I mean, I can remember I was so little, and it was just like the most like fun I ever had, like learning math. It was so easy to do and easy to learn the way that she taught us. So anyway, so when I was decoding these ciphers, I decoded all these ciphers, and this is all around this time period, okay? So within this event of my life, within this memory of my life, I decode out this whole ton of finding out that Gene Roberts at the same time, and this is in the early 70s, at the same time was stalking the Jacksons, okay? And I'm talking about Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, the Jackson 5, the Jacksons, okay? So I'm finding out, I'm seeing my life in it, okay? She's talking about my life, like she's using my life, and then she's got Michael Jackson encoded in it, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff about, like, I can't remember like everything that's in it, it's in my phone, but she's like stalking the heck out of them, and she's talking the heck out of me at the same time. Now, when I decoded this, I was living in Slidell, and I remember when I was first decoding this, I was like, I'm in the middle of like tears and freak out and oh my God and everything else, because I'm decoding crime after crime after crime after crime after crime, and it's like one thing after another, and I'm finding out all these people that she has stalked and tried to control. I'm decoding all kinds of stuff in American history and all kinds of crime that she committed that she was underneath. Like I'm like on 9/11, like the Oklahoma City, but like everything, okay? So I'm like in freak out mode, and so I'm processing this, and I'm thinking about my life when I was little. And the Jacksons were big when I was little. I knew them when I was little, but I wasn't in love with them. I didn't know them yet. I didn't know them until the early 80s. Okay? And that's when they went like crazy. I didn't even realize that Janet Jackson played on Good Times until I don't even think I realized that until the 90s that she played on. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Janet Jackson. So anyway, but I knew the Jacksons, but they were just like another music group, like, you know what I mean? So anyway, but when I got older and the Jackson craze hit, I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my God. Everybody was Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson. And I loved Michael Jackson. I was in love with, my favorite song was Centipede, and I think that was Rebby Jackson. I freaking loved that song. I freaking love this song. And watching the video, just totally, I'm like, oh my God, there's so much to see in the video. Like looking back, like I can imagine even the Jacksons themselves looking back at their videos going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So anyway, so she's stalking them. Now, when I was little in the 70s, I can remember The Wiz coming out, which was an adaptation of The Wizard of Oz, and it starred Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. I remember that coming out, and she used that as part of the ciphers that she was using against me, and she was interweaving both of our lives, and she was stalking him. And I started researching Michael Jackson at that point. Like, when was Michael Jackson born? How many years different, and how many years difference in age is he than me? Like, I started researching like crazy. I'm like, she is literally stalking the heck out of them. Like, this is insane. So anyway, okay, so my mom, when I was little, for Christmas one year, my mom bought me a Quiz Whiz, which I just recently decoded the Quiz Whiz, and in that, Gene Roberts is bragging about planning to do the Oklahoma City bombing and the World Trade Center attack. I decoded that, and that was one of my favorite little toys. But I've got I've got that all decoded. So anyway, so she's connecting the Quiz Whiz to the Whiz, and she's also connecting it to making fun of me when I was little. Okay, so anyway, so she's like making fun of me in grade school. So anyway, so in learning fractions, this is crazy. So in learning fractions, a friend of mine in class, okay, I don't even remember whose it was. It was a friend of mine in class. One day she showed up, and she had this big, gigantic black square that had like little sliding, it was rows and columns, and it had little sliding squares on it, okay? And the numbers went 0 through 12 on the left, and then 0 through 12 on the right. And also, that also connects to 1986, Microsoft Excel, and then Windows, and then everything else, and then 9/11. So anyway, so this grid, and it was rainbow shaded. Okay, so what it was like a toy calculator, and it was on multiplication. So you would pull the tab of the 6 on the left side, and then you'd pull the 7 of the column, you'd pull the tab up, and then the space would open up, and then the answer 42 would be lit up in the little square. And this thing was big. It was like almost as big. Like, I can remember it being really big, like the size of my school desk, or almost the size of my school desk. Okay. So anyway, it was huge. Well, anyway, so I wanted it. I was like, this is mine. I need this. And she let me use it. I don't even know. I had to be a little friend of mine, a little girl that was in class with me. She let me use it all the time. I was like, I need this. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. And Michael Jackson, he sings that song, The Girl Is Mine. And I know she used ice on his music, but she used ice on everybody's music. Everybody's affected the same way. Michael Jackson is a mega star. Nobody is more or less like, you know what I'm saying? Her getting her little AI hooks inside everybody's music. Everybody's affected by it across the board. Okay. She ripped off AI in the 60s. So anyway, so I was like, this is mine. Like, I need to keep this. I need to have this. So every time she had it, I was like, can I have that? I was like, let me have, I just need it for one more month. Just give that to me. That's mine. And so I wanted it all the time, like this big old, this big gigantic calculator. I was like, this is mine. This is mine. I need to have, this is mine. And I think I probably tried to convince her into giving it to me, unless she did give it to me. I think maybe she did give it to me. I remember taking it home, and my mom said, you can't have that. And I was like, why? And she said, because that's cheating. You're never going to learn how you do multiplication if you use that. You're going to always have the answer. You're never going to learn multiplication. That's cheating. You can't have that. And I was like, no, I need to have this. This is mine. I can remember having that argument with my mom. I did not want to let go of this thing. This thing was amazing. I'd never seen anything like it. And you can imagine what it was like in the 70s. I mean, today we've got our phones are computers, but back then there wasn't even a PC. There was nothing. You know what I mean? And it's like, this thing was like an abacus on steroids. This thing was freaking amazing to me. I was like, this is mine. So anyway, so I think that she might have given it to me, and then I had to give it back. I can't keep it. I can't remember what happened. So anyway, okay, so let me fast forward. Okay, into the early 1980s. Okay, so now I'm going to go through a different set of ciphers with you that I decoded. Okay, so Jean Roberts and her Manson occult stalked me all of my life. Okay, my mom, my dad, they stalked Mario in California and his family in California at the same time, all for this pre-planned convergence of all of us later on. And then she steps in and acts like she's the fairy godmother when she's Lucifer, and spreads horrible, horrible lies and hides that she's committed terrorism and she has been stalking us and controlling us and literally trafficking us our entire lives. It's not a joke. Actual trafficking. So anyway, I decode all this, and I'm like find all this out. So anyway, so as a part of this pathway, okay, so from East Globe, and then my mom and dad, you know, they moved back to Chandler, and we live on Shannon, and then after Shannon, we moved to I don't remember if we moved to J or Colt. We moved to Colt because I was in 6th grade at Pomeroy. So we moved to Colt, and then we moved to J. Okay, so anyway, so we lived on Colt. Colt was on Colt and Pennington, right? I think off of Alma School and Warner. I think we were like a block away from like Elliott Road. I decoded all this. I decoded the whole neighborhood. I decoded everything. Gene stalked the ever-living heck out of all of us. Anyway, so when we were living on Colt, Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5, they were already out with Thriller, which was huge. It was huge. Thriller, okay, let me tell you about Thriller. Okay, for those of you in intelligence who don't remember those days, let me tell you about Thriller. Thriller came on every hour on the hour on MTV. Every hour. Every day, every hour. It was a half-hour long video. It was the longest video ever made on record. The video was record-breaking. And I decoded the video because she was messing with the video. And I think the director of the video, I decoded all of this too. I think the director of the video was John Landis. I think is what his name was. And I decoded the time when I lived in Slidell. I decoded the times and everything on Thriller. And I'm like trying to figure out what is going on. And I know Gene Roberts was on in my brain and she was spying in. And then she went and told somebody something. And then she came on and then she sneered at me and she acted like she was John Landis. And I was like, why would John Landis be sneering at me? If you could literally see what I'm decoding, why would you be sneering? Why would you be? Because it wasn't John Landis. She was spreading lies about me and then going on and acting like she was John Landis. She was running a racket is what she was doing. Which means she's trying to, or was trying to hustle or cover up her stalking of the Jackson family. Okay. Another thing is, the Jacksons, when I lived in Slidell, there's a couple more things I decoded, which I've already talked about in my podcast. It's already in my previous podcast, but the one thing I want to bring up again, I bring this up over and over and over again. I decoded where she was stalking Michael Jackson. Okay, my favorite song by Michael Jackson has always been Say, Say, Say. It's a Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson duet. Okay, it's always been my favorite song by them. So I go to watch the video, and she's like in my brain, and she's like traumatizing me because in the video is Paul McCartney and his wife looks like what Gene Roberts looks like in her fantasy version of herself. And then Gene goes on in my brain and she tells me that Linda McCartney's her sister. Okay, like she's messing with me, like she's gonna get away with this. And I'm like, oh my god, like she's letting me know she's stalked me all my life since before I was born, and that she'll get away with it, and she's trying to like terrorize me. And I'm like freaking out, and I'm upset. This is in the beginning of this, because I'm like, this is like my favorite Michael Jackson song, and now I can't even see Linda McCartney without realizing how you have stalked the ever-living hell out of all of my family. And now you're claiming Linda McCartney is your sister in my brain, in mental telepathy. But anyway, so I decode this from the Say, Say, Say video. I'm decoding all this stuff out. So I'm decoding ciphers out, okay? So I decode out where she plans to attack, or she's planning some kind of attack on Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson, this is Gene's words and Gene's ciphers that I decoded, because Michael Jackson was having an affair with Linda McCartney, Paul McCartney's wife. Okay, and I decoded all of this out, and I'm sitting there going, oh my God. And I was angry because I know that this is like not them, not Paul. I know this is not like the Beatles doing this, and I don't yet know it's Charles Manson. I'm like, I'm still at the point of like, who is doing this? And I'm torn between bad cops and Ku Klux Klan at that point, is who I'm torn between. Okay. Like it's this group, but it turns out after all of my decode, and I've decoded a ton of everything, it's Charles Manson. And Charles Manson is funded by the Ku Klux Klan, so it is Charles Manson / Ku Klux Klan. Okay, so anyway, so I'm like literally like freaking out. So anyway, I'm going about my life, I'm working, I'm decoding these ciphers, I'm like, in my brain, like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Everything I'm finding out, the more I decode, the more I learn how to decode, the more I figure out, I'm freaking out on everything. Like everything. My whole life I've been stalked. I'm finding out she's stalking celebrities. I'm finding out about people's lives she's taken. I'm literally freaking out. And I'm hundreds of miles away from my boys in Tulsa. And I'm like, and all my kids want is, you know, just for me to like, which is what I was doing in Slidell, was getting clean, trying to get my life, getting healthy and getting my life straight. And I'm like, how do I communicate like all of this? But I did tell them, I did talk to them. Like I tried to talk to Mario. I did talk to my boys. Like I figured out decode these ciphers were being stalked, and it sounds unbelievable, but this is really happening. This is really happening, and she will not relent. She keeps stalking us with her Manson occult / KKK. And she sucks, God knows, everybody into it. But I know a lot of people are wise to it now. But for those who aren't, there's always another group of people out there that she will go reach out to and she'll go suck into it. It's insane. So anyway, I was driving in Slidell. I don't know where I was going, but anyway, I was driving, and then Paul McCartney, and I've talked to him a couple of times in mental telepathy. One time he came on, well, hang on, I'll tell you in a second. But anyway, so he came on in my brain, and he was like, this is Christina. But I don't even know if he knew that I was Christina. Because Gene might have been trying to steal my identity way back then. But like he was like talking to me, but Gene pretends to be me. So I don't know what she was doing, or I don't know if he realizes it was me. I think he's got to know it's you, because you had, I'm sorry, let me talk. People are talking through me to me, but let me talk, because people try to steal my identity. The military was on in my brain at the time, and so were a lot of different people, African Americans. There was police on. There was all kinds of people on in my brain that would kick on and off all the time. And then, of course, Charles Manson, Gene Roberts, and her KKK hiding and lurking in my brain, just listening to everybody, and just, oh my God, what a nightmare. So anyway, so he had to know that I'm Christina back then. But anyway, obviously Gene is older than you. He probably even got told after that it was Gene that did this to me, stalking me. I mean, he knows how old I am. So he obviously knew it was me. So anyway, he goes, this is Christina, or hello. And I said hello. And we said hello to each other, and, you know, and how do you do? And oh my gosh, Paul McCartney and all, you know. So, and then he goes, okay, I want to talk. He goes, I want to tell you something. He goes, I saw your ciphers that you decoded. He goes, I know you decoded this. I know this is real. I know whoever wrote this really said this, really did this, because you decoded it. I know this is true what you decoded, but I want to tell you this is not true. I didn't attack Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson didn't have an affair with Linda McCartney. None of this is not, even though that's in these ciphers that you decoded, we did not have anything to do with this, number one. And number two, that none of that is true. And so anyway, I said, okay. And I was like, I was basically like, I know he wouldn't do that. That's ridiculous. Like in my brain, I'm like, I already know that. I mean, my gosh. So anyway, but I'm like thinking, okay. But it was good to hear confirmation. So she planned. This is what was told to me recently in the past week. This is about money. When I decode ciphers, of genes of her committing crime around people. And I'm talking specifically in the arena of celebrities, Hollywood, because I decode a lot of her stalking people in Hollywood. Okay. The mob, it's about money. Okay. So, excuse me. So anyway, she is using that. She's obviously making up different sets of lies to feed to different groups of people that will result in different outputs. Do you know what I'm saying? Which means she's stalking him. He's a mega world star, and she wants what he has. She wants his money. And you can tell Michael Jackson really like Britney Spears, like what she tries to do to me. But these celebrities weren't wise to this, because she was using AI in secret. And I started decoding all these ciphers in Slidell, and then a lot of celebrities are realizing this crazy Manson expletive, she did this to me. Like making you seem like you're crazy or you're losing your mind or stressing you out, because it's her whole mad AIW plot. Trying to make you look crazy by screwing with you with AI. And you can imagine being a megastar like Michael Jackson, high stress, have to be high volume. High volume equals high stress, high stakes, operating at extremes at all times. And it stresses you out. So she was planning to mess with him because she wanted to take from him, is what she wanted to do. And she was lying about him, is what she was doing. And she probably is playing switcheroo with her lies because she wants to cover her butt for her lies. So that's what somebody just pointed out to me. It's very, very clear. Not only was Gene Roberts stalking the Jacksons, but she spread a lot of lies. I guarantee you every lie that has ever come out is a lie that she spread. So I love the Jacksons very, very, very much. Now, okay, so in pre-planning, okay, so she was stalking me when I was a child. So in the early 80s, the Jacksons go on tour, okay, in their last world tour, the Jackson 5, and they called it the Victory Tour, okay? I decoded all this out too, okay? So this is a major, major, major cipher I decoded. So she pre-planned and controlled the name of their tour, the tour dates, the tour locations, everything to coincide with her stalking and attacking me as a child, and to add insult to injury, just trying to attack. And it's Ku Klux Klan Manson written all over it. And she wants to get away with the whole deal. She wants to get away with all of it. So anyway, I also decoded, this made me cry. I could not freaking believe this. I was so upset. Do you remember when Michael Jackson back in the 80s, when there used to be that song that the kids used to sing? Because when you're a mega star like that among the kids, you got your Def Leppards, you got your Duran Durans, you got your Michael Jacksons. Like everybody has, like, they got your Madonnas. Everybody has their like little niche crew, and that's how it was. It was like Music Wars. It was like a whole like British pop invasion, new wave invasion, and mixed with soul. There was so much going on in the early 80s. But anyway, so Michael Jackson was on tour and his hair caught on fire. Okay. And, he wasn't on tour. He was doing he was doing a Pepsi commercial and his hair caught on fire while filming the Pepsi commercial. She set his hair on fire. She did that to him. Anyway, back in the day when I was little, all the kids used to sing that song. Michael Jackson, something, Pepsi Cola, 7-Up, Michael Jackson, something about Michael Jackson's hair catching on fire. Michael Jackson, but Pepsi Cola burnt him up or something. They were making fun that Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire. So anyway, I decoded all this cipher out, and I realized that she literally set his hair on fire. She did that to him. There's artists I know that I can't, I see something on the news about artists falling on stage. That probably happens all the time. Just like Wendy Williams, when Wendy Williams passed out, oh my God, I cried so freaking hard. I decoded all of that. She made Wendy Williams, the talk show host, she made her pass out. She used ice on her. She made her pass out. And I decoded it all out. I was so upset. And Wendy Williams, the talk show host, knows that. She got white peopled, just like Gene Roberts tried to do to the Jackson. She went and tried to white people Wendy Williams. And Black Lives Matter, Black Panthers, they came on, they said, we know that Gene Roberts is out white peopling. They didn't use the term white peopling, but that's what Gene does. She goes out and spreads lies everywhere. But anyway, they said they know Gene is out lying, and we know what you decoded, what she did to Wendy Williams. We're going to go talk to Wendy Williams. They went and talked to Wendy Williams, and then Wendy Williams came on and let me know, thank you for letting me know. Thank you for being a fan. I'm here. I know what's going on. I mean, she is a good person. I got to see her at Christmas time too. I got to see her twice in my brain and mental telepathy. And then that's probably what she was doing with Christmas dinners, was she was showing me herself at Christmas dinner celebrating with family. Maybe she was trying to signal to me that it's the American Indian movement, but that is Gene Roberts doing. She keeps trying to manipulate American Indian movement. I'm not trying to step out of line, out of anything, because I know just by me talking makes it worse, because there's just so much white people. I love you guys so much. It makes me so mad. Gene is manipulating and conning Native Americans is what she's doing. She wants to do things her way. She committed all this crime. She wants to run these rackets, and she wants everybody to do it her way, because she just wants to get away with it. She wants to get away with the crime she's committed. And then tell people to their face, no, I did this for you. No, you did not. You're stopping real movements from having a real voice because all you want to do is just get away with crap. You need to go to jail, Gene Roberts. But anyway, so the Victory Tour. So what was I going to say? I was something else I had figured out about the Victory Tour. Hang on a second. It was something new. Oh, okay. So the Victory Tour. So the Victory Tour that also connects to her using my favorite my favorite t-shirt brand from when I was young. Varney was like my favorite because it was like everybody had they all had Varney too, but Varney stood out from everything else. You know what I mean? It was like the cool shirt of all the cool shirts that were out. But anyway, just like she used Varney, okay? So whenever I see that, I'm like, I think of like my childhood and all my favorite things from when I was young. And then I see what she did and how she used the Varney name to stalk me as a child, to stalk my family, to stalk my friends. There are people going on in my brain. We decoded more out of Varney. She stalked us. Celebrities, friends, we're in here. She's stalking us. Sorry, she's overlaying her stupid you-know-whos. I'm not talking about Jean's little friends who she tries to cover up or conceal under, or whatever she does with those my friends from high school. Like celebrities study this. Like they look at the Varney name. Oh my God, we're in here too. All this links up, connects together. So anyway, the Victory Tour, okay, that's what I wanted to get to here. My whole point of this, what I wanted to point out. So anyway, I was watching the Victory Tour on YouTube, okay? And I watched the beginning of the concert, the very beginning of it. And I'm like, I know I'm going to freak out. I'm going to freak out. And I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. When the thing came down, and I know it had to be on both sides of the stage, but I can only see the left side of the stage. But even the fact that there would be another one on the right side of the stage with her whole mirroring scheme and all of that. Okay. The thing on the left side of this, that's my giant freaking... I'm supposed to look back at that and trip out. That's my giant freaking calculator from grade school. I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, people on my brain were freaking out too. And they were going, oh my God. So then they started decoding, like they're going through all celebrities, all artists. They're going through like everything. Okay, calculator time. They're trying to like go through everything, and they figure out a whole bunch more stuff. They figure out a lot of everything. But anyway, so then the Victory Tour, that also goes to Vicky. Everything I decoded on Vicky, Vichy. It's a special type of government. You're going to have to research it, which is basically what she's trying to run or create, but it's not. She's just basically wants to crash the United States government, and she wants to crash. She wants a civil war. She wants to crash a government. And she wants to control and monopolize all of that is what she wants to do. And she wants to do that all over the world. But the Vicky government, the Vicky method, when I decoded all that, because I'm like, oh my God, Vicky's in everything. Everything. When I go through time and history and time, and I go research the details of events throughout history, through all of history, you can see Vicky government or Vicky's style of government underlying in everything. And I'm like, that instantly, all patterns are the same. That all links back to Jean. That is Jean Roberts and her Manson occult. Before they were Charles Manson, it is Jean Roberts and her predecessors. So anyway, there's a whole bunch more to it. There's a lot going on. But I wanted to talk about that. And then the other one, I'm already at 48 minutes. So let me stop. And then I'll make another podcast. It probably won't be tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow.